Why do wicked people prosper while good people suffer? This question isn't new, but it still hurts like it is. Anyone who tries to live with integrity, fight for justice, and hold on to their faith knows how frustrating it can be to see evil win. Sometimes the righteous are tired, sick, struggling to pay the bills, while the wicked cruise around in luxury cars, laughing at life. And deep down, even if we don't say it out loud, our hearts whisper, "God, why?" If you've ever felt like that, drop a comment. You're not alone. The truth is, the world is upside down, and the Bible confirms it. In 1 John 5 verse 19, it says, "The whole world lies under the sway of the evil one." This isn't some conspiracy theory. It's a spiritual reality. It means the values of this system are far from the values of God. Here, the louder you shout, the higher you go. The better you lie, the more you win. But is that real success? Or just the appearance of victory? While human eyes are drawn to sparkle, God looks for roots. Success in heaven's eyes isn't about how much you have, it's about how much you remain. It's not about the stage, but the secret place. Not about fame, but faithfulness. The true winner isn't the one with more, but the one who stands firm without compromising their principles. Because in the end, God's approval is worth more than the world's applause. Jesus warned, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?" Mark 8 verse 36. A lot of people seem blessed on the outside, but inside they're empty, anxious, and tormented. Meanwhile, there are humble, almost invisible people who carry a peace that money could never buy. True success is quiet but powerful. It's what endures the storm without losing direction. But what do we do when the wicked seem to prosper without limits, and life feels unfair? How do we stay strong when comparison starts to steal our faith? Maybe the answer is understanding that this success we see might be more fragile than it looks. Let's talk about that. Some people rise like rockets, fast, high, loud. But not every flight is from God, and not every height is a blessing. Have you noticed how some people gain fame, money, and influence overnight? And we ask, God, are you even seeing this? The answer is, yes. He sees. He knows. And He acts at the right time. The Bible shows us that the prosperity of the wicked is often part of their judgment, not their blessing. It's like a sandcastle, pretty on the outside, fragile underneath. I have seen a wicked and ruthless man flourishing, but he soon passed away and was no more. Though I looked for him, he could not be found. Psalm 37 verses 35 to 36. That's powerful. It shows that some victories are temporary, deceptive, and won't last. Because God doesn't work in a rush, He works with purpose. Wicked people may prosper, for a while. But there is no peace when the heart is far from God. And that lack of peace corrodes silently. What looks like success today may be tomorrow's trap. Remember Haman from the book of Esther? He seemed untouchable, powerful, admired. But he fell into the very trap he set. Evil may run, but it never escapes divine justice. And that's the difference between growing with God and growing without Him. The growth that comes from God is slow, steady, invisible to the world, but eternal. The growth of the wicked might be fast, loud, flashy, but it's like smoke, it vanishes. So if you're waiting, trusting, and not seeing results yet, don't give up. Because what God builds lasts, even when the world doesn't see it. Maybe you're thinking, but why does this bother me so much? Because deep inside, there's a sense of justice crying out for answers. And in that cry, we often lose focus and start comparing ourselves. But comparison, when unfiltered, can become a hidden prison. And that's exactly what we need to talk about now. Comparison is a silent prison. It starts with a distracted scroll through social media. and ends with a heart full of frustration. You see someone posting wins, vacations, a perfect family, and think, "What am I doing wrong?" That thought keeps repeating until it becomes a sentence in your soul. But the problem isn't that others are winning, it's that you start believing you're losing. The Bible says, each one should test their own actions, for each one should carry their own load. Galatians 6 verses 4 to 5. In other words, you can't measure your purpose with someone else's ruler. What God wrote for you doesn't fit anyone else. When you compare, you end up devaluing your own story. You forget the battles you've already won, the grace that sustained you, and God's faithfulness in secret. It's like planting a seed and then constantly watching your neighbor's field. Your harvest will always look small. But maybe what's growing in your life is deeper, stronger, more eternal, just not visible yet. God works in silence, in secret, away from the spotlight. And those who live in comparison miss the beauty of what heaven is building little by little. Jesus told a parable about workers who started at different times, yet all received the same reward in the end. Matthew 20 verses 1 to 16. That shatters our human sense of fairness. Because God doesn't pay by effort, He rewards by purpose. And maybe what you think is delay is actually God protecting you from a rush that would ruin you. But if your journey still feels slow, unseen, or empty, maybe you've forgotten what really matters. Because in the end, it's not about who got there first, it's about who stayed faithful. And once you understand that, it changes how you see your own path, and redefines your relationship with what the world calls success. Not everything that shines is a blessing. Sometimes it's just a well-disguised trap. The problem is, we've been conditioned to link money with success, fame with value, and influence with divine approval. But the Bible shows that many who had it all, lost it all. Because anything built outside of God's will, no matter how glamorous it looks, is as fragile as glass. Jesus told a story about a rich man who stored up so much that he decided to relax. But that very night, his soul was required of him. Luke 12 verses 16 to 21. It teaches a hard truth. You can gain the world and still have nothing eternal. Wealth isn't proof of God's presence. Many times, it's just the test that reveals what's in the heart. And many have gotten lost in the very thing they once asked God for. Have you seen people who had everything, but lost their peace, their values, their family along the way? Because when the soul clings to gold, it drifts from the source. The pursuit of status becomes a silent idol. And the most dangerous part is, the world applauds this kind of idolatry. But God sees behind the curtain. He's not impressed by numbers. He moves for purpose, for faith, for integrity in secret. True prosperity is not measured by a bank account. It's measured by balance, mission, generosity, and peace with God. Proverbs 10 verse 22 says, "The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, without painful toil for it." If what you have is pulling you away from God's presence, maybe it's not a blessing. If what you want is consuming you on the inside, maybe it's not what God wants for you. But if riches can be an illusion, then where is the real reward? Deep down, we still hope that God sees the effort, values the upright heart, and rewards those who refuse to sell out. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about now. There are moments when everything inside us cries, "God, do you even see me?" You do good, stay in line, try to keep your heart pure, and still, nothing seems to change. But then the Bible steps in with a truth that doesn't comfort immediately, but it does set you free. The real reward is not earthly. God doesn't measure results like men do. He sees intentions. He sees the secret place. And He is never unjust. Hebrews 6 verse 10 says, "God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown Him." In other words, nothing you do in faith goes unnoticed, even if no one claps. even if it feels useless. God doesn't reward just anyhow. He rewards at the right time, in the right way, with what no one can take: peace, purpose, presence. And that's worth more than any visible treasure. Many times, what God is preparing is greater than what you even asked for. But it takes maturity, patience, and a faith that doesn't give up. David was anointed king, but before he sat on the throne, he faced rejection, deserts, and betrayal. Because before the reward, God shapes the character. That's grace, not punishment. When you understand that, you stop complaining about the wait and start realizing you're being prepared. God's reward is eternal. It doesn't fade, rust, or disappear with time. Jesus said, "Store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Matthew 6 verses 20 to 21. And here lies the secret. When your heart is in heaven, no loss on earth can destroy you. Because you know, the best is yet to come. Now that you know where the real reward is, maybe a new question is rising within. How do I live this out? How do you walk with purpose in a world that values appearance more than substance? That's the reflection we need to continue, and now is the time to tie it all together. Now that you've heard all of this, tell me, are you still going to measure yourself by the world's standards? Still believe that success is only what shines? Or is it time to trade comparison for conviction, and walk tall, knowing heaven sees your effort? How many times did you almost give up because you thought God was silent? How many times did you feel your faithfulness was being ignored? But now you know, the reward for the righteous isn't immediate, but it is certain, eternal, and unshakable. And that changes everything. So let me ask you, what do you need to let go of today? The envy of the wicked? The silent comparison that sabotages you? Or maybe the impatience of wanting answers before their time? If this message spoke to you, if it flipped a switch inside, share it with someone else who needs to hear this too. And take a moment, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and stay connected. Because there's so much more coming to strengthen your faith and light your way.